Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
And hello, everybody out in Gotham City. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 103. That's right? I didn't get that wrong, right? We're 103? No, Jerry? Yeah, yes, there he is. The Jerry to Long Island, he's here. That's a tease. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Make sure you check out all the other great shows by heading on over to BOF, clicking the podcast drop-down button, and checking out all the shows. There's tons of Batman shows there. There's some gaming shows now. Things are expanding. Batman on Film is changing the podcast universe. You never know. There may be some sports podcasts up there. I might know a guy who has one. I am your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River, senior contributor to Batman on Film. I'm Peter R. Rivera, and today we're recording on January 7th, 2023, the first show of the new year. Here we go. You guys are totally ready. We're gonna be talking about clickbait and fake news and journalism and why you shouldn't trust 15-year veterans of the Hollywood beat and all that. No, we're not gonna talk about that stuff. And as always, we have a great show for you today. But before we get the good stuff, I'd like to remind you all, our faithful listeners, if you take the time to review the show on Apple Podcasts and we read your review in there, you just won a Straight Outta Gotham prize pack. So get those reviews in like hot tomatoes. Now, let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the man who was the human substitute for the New Year's Eve ball upon Mayor Dinkins' request. Ladies and gentlemen, a junior Batman on Film contributor, Mr. Eric Holzman.
Yo, I was so hoping that would happen. That would have been fantastic.
I actually didn't know you and Dinkins were tight.
Well, so there's a lot of things people don't know about me, and you keep telling them about them. So there's going to be less and less each week.
Well, when I found out, I was like, Eric knows Dinkins?
I knew him because he's dead. So we knew.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Yes, I knew him. But
he was a legend. Dinkins was a legend.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he Rudy Giuliani gets credit for kind of cleaning up New York, but that started under Dinkins' watch. So yeah, he did clean when New York kind of turned the corner of being, I guess, what people would call the more fun time in New York, even though it was more dangerous. When it started to turn the corner to being, people like to say, the Disneyfication, which whatever, that's what you want.
You used to not be able to go to Times Square.
Yeah, that's true. What people see now with the movie theaters and Madame Tussauds and all the Disney stuff and the lights.
No, like when people talk about crackhead New York, they're talking about like Times Square in the 70s.
Yeah, Times Square in the 70s and 80s, early 80s was if you ever what's with the show The Deuce, I think it was called, on HBO. I think it was called The Deuce, and it was about that time period. That's not a fabrication, people. That was actually what was going down at that time period. So
now you get harassed by Spider-Man and the Hulk for $5 for photos.
Yep, in some really shoddy costumes.
Changed.
Yes, some really shoddy costumes. Even though they have some interesting, still have some interesting characters running around there.
I will agree with that. Yes, there are interesting characters running.
Right, there's some interesting ones. I won't go into in depth, but if you live in New York or you visited Times Square recently, you know what I'm talking about. Specifically in the warmer months, I'll just put it that way. You see some interesting things. So, yeah, so it's the first show, man. First show of 2023. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Eric.
To everybody out there, to you, Pete.
Christmas.
So how was your holidays? We haven't really spoken. So how was your holidays?
No, I've been busy, like just running around and seeing people you don't want to see and people you do. And, you're just the holiday rush.
Yeah, I agree. You spend time with family, and some family you want to see, and some family maybe you don't want to see.
Yeah, but overall it was good.
It's the time of year where you do things like that and get together. So yeah, it was a pretty hectic. My family's big, so it's always hectic. Holidays are always hectic for me. But did you do anything for New Year's Eve?
I mean, I hung out with my friends. That was really it. You know,
Right.
we had my buddy Jimmy had a party, and we just went to that.
Okay.
That's kind of it.
That's good.
So
yes, I actually did nothing this year.
wow, so you're officially an old man. You're
so yeah, I officially have stepped into old man territory. No, I just years ago, I had something happen on a holiday eve, so I try not to go out anymore if I can avoid it on the eves or even New Year's, unless it's at somebody's house where I know I'm not going to be driving anywhere else. Then I try not to go anywhere. So,
well, Thanksgiving Eve is the big day. That's like
yeah.
that's like the biggest eve of them all, to be honest with you, when it comes
Yes.
to stay off the road because everyone's hammered.
Yes. So I just don't like to drive on those dates. So if it's not something I could do from mass transit or just someone else driving, then I usually won't go out.
I mean, as the champion of Long Island, don't you pretty much have like free Ubers for life?
I wish that were so.
Or is it Lyfts or something like that? You can ride the horse and buggies in Manhattan for free.
Yes, that I can do.
That's what
I was grandfathered in
as a dignitary. As an Atlantean dignitary, you can ride the horse and buggies for free.
So that's
and Eric only pays 50 cents for $1 pizza. It's a weird rule. He's got a card.
Yeah.
It's some kind of stipulation.
You make me sound like that's some kind of AARP card or something like that.
You're an old man. We apparently the United States honors Atlantis' senior citizen discount.
That's hysterical. So yeah, but it
only pays 50 cents for $1 pizzas in the city.
So 2023, man, I can't believe every year that goes by, I say it every time. I can't believe it's whatever, but yeah, I'm here and we're all here. So
yeah, it's going to be a good year. Leia's here.
Yeah, Leia's here. She's barking at someone outside, I guess. I don't know. But she's here. Sorry, guys.
It's probably the press because they heard about the Dinkins story. So now
she's also quite popular. So
is she?
She tries to control her own little sector of the paparazzi when she can. So
fair enough.
Of course, guys, we have a ton of stuff to talk to you about. Hopefully, I mean, this year we do some more live stream stuff. Scheduling it is usually the reason why we don't. But hopefully this year we'll dive into a little bit more of that. I know we talked about before last season, I guess we'll call it season ended. We talked about doing another Iceberg Lounge, so we should probably work on that. Revolving around some big event before the Flash.
Probably whatever comes out of the Flash.
Even though that's what's coming. But yeah, or maybe when we finally do get the news guns breakdown of what we're going to have in the DC
gun slate, which I don't think is going to happen for at least another 2 weeks. I don't think you're going to get it till we're going to be in the 20s. Like I'm giving you exactly a month till Christmas, 30 days.
Well, I mean, that'd be fine. I mean, whatever it happens, it happens. It's not like I'm, counting down the days on a calendar or,
well, you're not, but some people are. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people that we associate with that are counting down the days. Like
that's true.
I'm sure there's some people who are freaked out right now that they haven't released it.
And we also know that some people are counting the days just to complain about whatever.
Some people are complaining because, I think Batman Brave and the Bold got pulled off HBO Max. Like, people are complaining about that. So people complain about anything. Yep.
A lot of things got pulled off HBO Max. I was looking for some of them last night.
I guarantee you they'll be back in 4 months.
I was like, what the? It's gone, but it's okay.
It'll be back. So, are you devastated? Are you going to cry about it?
No.
Are you going to buy it physically to watch it?
That's really what it comes down to. And nowadays you could do that so fast, get it the next day. If you're,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're going to complain that much, did you really love this thing to begin with? I don't know, because you don't own it. So you're paying for a library fee essentially, right? You're paying so much money for a library. And when they change the library up, you get mad, but you're still buying it at a discounted rate, right? You're getting millions of movies for I don't know, $14.
Speaking of library, do you have Hoopla, Pete? Do you have the Hoopla app?
No, I don't. It's a Lauer thing.
I know, and that's how I found out. Shout out to Ryan Lauer, by the way. But that's how I found out about it, and it's fantastic.
You like Hoopla?
Well, all you need to have is a local library card, and then you have access to everything that they have on digital.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm. If you don't have, you should get it. Just you like to read a lot. I know you like physical copies. I know I have to be physical, but you could always read it and then buy it.
Like, no, I get you. Yeah. I get you. But I'm just saying, like, people complain about this stuff, and it's like, I don't know, if you love the thing so much, you should. I feel like you would own it. Like. If they take off, like, for instance, like Batman '89, I'm like, oh man, this is a bummer for convenience purposes. I've got to get up to put the DVD, the Blu-ray in.
Right, you have to actually lift your hands to do something now instead of just sitting there clicking a button. So yeah, I understand that.
You don't have to do that. You just tell Alexa to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I found that I was talking to him with Lauer, and Lauer just cracking me up, and I was like, I know, I don't get it. Like, Amazon Prime, you can buy season 3 of The Walking Dead. It's there tomorrow. Like
that's the thing. Yeah, like that's.
Or you could go to Target after work. I bet you they have it.
And sometimes you could even
you
buy
probably
it
want a new release. If it's a new release, Target has it.
Yeah, and then sometimes if you're really that desperate, you could even buy it to watch on Amazon Video or whatever. They might even have it, and you just do it that way.
Yeah, like if you're already streaming stuff, like for instance, like I could probably buy it on my Apple TV whenever I wanted.
Yeah, I was able to do that before. I mean, this is so weird that this happened, but before Disney Plus became a thing, I got all the digital copies of Star Wars. Just through having Xbox, and I bought all the digital copies. So now I have all of those plus the Disney. I could watch them on Disney Plus.
But what if they take them off Disney Plus, Eric?
Then I have them. I could just hit play and watch them from my Xbox from the Microsoft Store.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
see how easy that is.
Oh wow!
And I have them for life. I also have Aquaman and a bunch of them on digital.
No one's taking this movie away from me.
Yeah, before I have all those stuff. Yeah, nobody.
You can't take this movie away. I love those tweets. You can't take this movie away from me. It's like they're not erasing anything. Nothing's being deleted from life. What are you talking about?
Well, there's been a lot of speculation around movies being taken away, characters being removed, all because of this James Gunn and Peter Safran's plan that we don't know about yet. But there's been a lot of speculation and worry surrounding some of our characters. One of them specifically was because of how everything happened was Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Everyone immediately assumed because they're not doing Wonder Woman 3 and that was pulled out that she had been booted from the role. Yes, and James Gunn made it pretty clear that he hasn't booted anybody. That's not true. Right, yet. Exactly, yet. It could be.
Except for Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, we'll get to him in a little while, because that story about everything behind that, which we kind of knew already, was a little crazy. But,
I mean, I was like, oh, he's still a wrestler.
Yeah, like, that's pretty much what that comes down to. Like, his character of The Rock is still very much who he is as a person. Yeah. But, so everyone out there who's freaking out about what's going to happen with DC, I mean, if Gal gets recast, we have those 2 movies that she was in. We have, obviously, Justice League and BVS, and we have her in those things as Wonder Woman, so you can always go back and watch those. As we always say, they're not going anywhere. But
you can't take this movie away from me, Warner Brothers. You always have it.
But I think of all the characters that we got from Zack Snyder's casting, she's probably been the most successful one. So I think if they were going to keep, I'm not saying they're going to, I have no idea, I have no insight on this whatsoever, but if they were going to keep somebody, she might be one of the people they decide to keep. So fear not, as of now, she's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I just, to me, this all reads as just PR mumbo jumbo until they actually know what happens.
Right.
Like, I'm just saying, Cavill was back. He wasn't back. Now he's gone. Now everybody's gone. Now they're doing soft. Just if they're going to do a soft reboot of Superman and they're going to cast a younger actor, kind of feel like they can do that with Wonder Woman as well. Like you could cast somebody younger than a gal. Maybe they want to go a different direction. I don't know, because Patty's not around to guide the ship anymore.
What if they do that? Right?
That's fine.
No, and that's fine. And then, like, they bring her back in some kind of role, but in a different capacity in the future, right? Like
what? Linda Carter?
Kind of like that. Like something.
Like what do you want? You want Gal to be Hippolyta in the new Wonder Woman?
No, it's not that what I want. I'm just saying.
I'm just asking. I'm trying to figure.
I'm just saying
here. Personally, I think it's too soon right now to have Gal Gadot legacy cast. Like she's Linda Carter or Michael Keaton. I think it's way too soon.
No, I agree with you there. I'm just saying if they don't want to make this another one of the things where fans are going to cry, boo boo, haha, whatever.
They're going to cry no matter what, dude.
If they don't want to do that,
years.
There's a way you can work with what's already been there. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree with you totally. You could have done the same thing. You could do the same thing with everyone from that era. I just think it's best not to.
I agree. If you're going to change everything on like the basic level, then you should recast everybody.
And that's like Bill keeps saying this. Like James Gunn's got some hard choices. Like Peacemaker. What do you do with Peacemaker, Jim? Well, think about it. Like whatever happens with Peacemaker and Harley Quinn and like the Suicide Squad really is going to tell us what's going to shape this universe. Because if that's all going to get kaputzed, then I think everything else just is
I think if anything is safe, those properties are safe. If I had to guess,
I have no idea, dude. I'm not trying to figure it out anymore either, because that's like just losing sleep over nothing. Like he's just going to tell me by the end of the month.
But I would part of all this. Yeah, I just would assume, and again, what happens when you assume, but I would assume that
it's an asset of you and me.
Yes, I would assume if anything's going to be safe, it would be the properties that he's worked on. In the universe already.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but like, right? And I'm sure all this stuff has been discussed with him, Safran, obviously the great Zaslav. I'm sure they've had meetings and discussed these very topics. I'm sure these things have been discussed months ago.
Doesn't Zaslav sound like a Lord of the Rings wizard? Like every time you say his name,
it sounds like he's the Wizard of Oz.
I just want to know who's like a wizard. Glass. That's crazy. Every time I say his name,
he's kind of like Zordon. We're all his Power Rangers.
Yeah, seriously. Like it's something like
that. The great and powerful Zaslav has spoken.
Right, like the great and powerful. You're right. Like that one word.
Yes,
it makes you think of this bigger, larger than life being.
It's the Z, Zaslav.
It probably
Holzman, is. Zaslav.
I don't put myself on that level.
Holzman. Like it just rolls on. It sounds like an amazing attorney firm. Like, have you suffered from asbestos injuries? We're the law firm for you. Zaslav and Holzman. 1-800-212-5656. Call now.
I actually think he did go to law school and was a lawyer. That was my goal at one point in my life.
Holzman. Z and H.
But I never did go through with it. I never went to law school. So there you go. But
Zaslav Holzman.
That's a little crazy.
I think it's hysterical. Oh God, Eric, you entertain me in so many ways. I just want you to know that.
Apparently, I didn't even know.
Oh, you do. You do. You just Holzman. Like that's all I need.
Well, one thing. Well, we all know also how I don't want to say. No, I will. How toxic this space can be at times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And James
He's not better than anybody, you fascist.
Oh yes, that's me, of course. But James Gunn took to the airwaves, which is Twitter, and he kind of addressed it. Addressed the specific group of people. We all know who he was talking to specifically.
Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, we do. We do. We do. You guys, I hate you guys more than anything in the world. I just want you to know that.
But I mean, he pretty much said, you know, you could cry and moan and complain all you want. It's not going to change what we're going to do anyway.
Oh God, I love it. Love it. Love it.
So, I mean, he addressed it head on. And that's one thing this guy has done from the beginning, which you got to respect, because he doesn't have to do this. He does not have to talk to us at all. He could sit behind his, we're doing what we need to do, and you'll hear.
You just sit back and also just watch all you guys cry and laugh at you.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He talks to us, and that's good because he understands. He's a fan too, so he understands how a lot of people feel about it, and it's okay to be attached to things. I'm not saying you shouldn't be attached to things that you love. There's plenty of things in life that, I mean, just look at my sports teams. Only one of them has ever won anything during my life. Yet I still root for their other three.
Dude, Zach Wilson's going off on Sunday.
We're not talking about that. I'm not going there right now.
He's getting 500 yards, 17 touchdowns.
But yeah, so, and that's fine. I don't stop being a fan of them because they're bad or they make me upset. I complain, sure. But do it.
Did you ever want to not be a Jets fan because of Boomer Esiason?
I've said plenty of times I'm not following this team anymore. Why do I do this to numerous times.
And then you're back next week.
The Knicks, the same thing with the Knicks. I've said the same thing there.
Oh, really? You just have to have a Knicks podcast, don't you?
Exactly. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Like, I've said this before.
Hate them. I don't want to do anything to do with them. Listen to my new show.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with this. That's pretty much where I'm going with this. I'm telling you, my craziness seeps in from time to time as well. Yet I have a Knicks podcast. I just bought Chris Herring's book, Blood in the Garden, about the 90s Knicks. Shout out to Chris, by the way, and that is it's a fantastic book.
Really?
So if you guys are fans of the 90s basketball period,
yeah,
go and read the book. It's called Blood in the Garden. It's fantastic.
Did you get the hardcover?
I did.
I always go to the hardcover when they get.
I just showed. See, here it is.
It looks good.
There it is. So if you have if you're interested in that era of basketball alone, and especially in Pat Riley and how he works, if you're a fan of Pat Riley, definitely.
Pat Riley only wears white button downs when he was coaching.
Oh, shirts, yeah.
Yeah, when he was coaching, he only wore white button downs.
So guys, stop. I feel like we say this once every 3 months, but if you're out there, just stop and be adult about this stuff and just.
It's not even just be adult, just be patient. Just wait. Like we're just sitting here. Like, if the movie sucks, complain about it. If you don't like the show, please go complain about it. Let's debate that on Twitter and let's talk about like the merits of what the show does. I have no problem doing that, but like, you're giving the guy a hard time. We don't even know what he's doing. We honestly don't know what he's doing. We have no clue.
We don't. And to that end, another character who we don't know his future about in this space is, of course, Zachary Levi, Shazam, Captain Marvel, whatever you want to call him. We don't know. And Zachary Levi, which I didn't know, he's actually friends with James Gunn. Says they're very good friends. And he says right now, everything's fine. There's been rumors that he's being recast, that the character's going away. He says, don't believe everything you read. So maybe Shazam is one of the characters they're going to keep. And that would kind of make more sense. Since it was kind of like after the original, like the original Justice League members were.
Yeah, I guess. But then I always go back to, I'd be an ape on the floor for Matt Reeves. And it's like, these guys are just going to say in the moment, it's like, it's like, oh, well, like they're asking Matt Reeves questions about the Batman. He's like, yeah, the plan is right now that Affleck's Batman, cast as Batman. Like, I remember those days. So again, I'm gonna wait and see. I don't care about Shazam 3 right now. All that matters is Shazam 2.
Right.
So whatever. And if he does get recast in the new world, so be it. Again, like, I don't know how many times I can say this.
Well, they might have to recast Asher Angel
because he's like 30 now.
So he might have to be recast, but
so that might be all for the best. Like, maybe we learn our lesson. We go a little bit younger, but it there are tough decisions to be made because I think Shazam 1 is a great movie. I think it was a huge hit, considering it was really cheap and it made, more than its budget back.
Well, he's the first guy who I think was cast that wasn't one of Zach's castings, right?
Yes,
so
I believe that. Right? That movie's all Sandberg.
So like that could be he could be the outlier from that part of the universe where they actually do stick with him. So we'll see. Again, that's
I'm
what we've
interested
been
to find
saying.
out. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I am too. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I'm interested to see the second movie first, and then see what happens. Because I, like you, I love the first one. So
it's great. It's a fun little Christmas movie too. It's right up there with Batman Returns.
Which I did watch this
Good
Christmas
boy. I'm really
season.
proud of you.
I did watch it. So I'll put that out there. So we touched on this a little bit before. You brought up Dwayne Johnson's and his power play. It really was a power play.
Power play? This was a shakedown.
he tried to flex his muscle and his influence by saying,
no pun intended.
And he said, right. And he said it to all of us, the hierarchy of power is going to change. You know, this movie is going to change things. Well, it didn't change much because it didn't do that well.
It maybe changed his reputation at the box office.
Yeah. But I mean, as much as I enjoy it, and I know you enjoy the movie, the rest of the people didn't. Most of the people didn't.
Man, I can't figure this one out. So. I thought Black Adam was fun. And you know what? The consensus seems to really be the opening of the movie. All the conduct stuff in the beginning really takes people out. And I found it really fascinating. But it's a kind of a bummer. I can't figure out Shazam. Shazam, Black Adam. I can't. BVS I get. I don't know why people don't like Black Adam.
If that's the part that annoys people, well, how did you expect to learn about the character if they
that's what I said. Like, it was all interesting. Like, we learned a lot of, like, the air quotes history of Black Adam, even though it was kind of a false history,
right?
You know, right? Like, I thought it played really well until the end of the movie, but apparently that first 20 minutes in Kahndaq really turned people off, and then they found it like really boring. And I was like, oh wow, really? Like. And the first 20 minutes, like the next hour and a half, the movie was like going 90 miles an hour.
Totally. That movie does not slow down for 1 minute.
Yeah.
After the exposition part of it.
Yeah. After when you hear like Paint It Black or whatever it is, that song where he's like going in slow motion with the army.
Yeah.
After that, it's like, boom, pedal to metal.
So, I mean, the story is so interesting to read about what he did. He wanted producing credit on League of the Super Pets, which he did not get. The whole Cavill thing, as we've already found out, was totally him trying to flex his muscle and get him back into the role to do his.
I wonder where we heard that before.
Right? To do his Superman Black Adam movie. All of that.
Yeah, I mean, he went over people's heads to Zaslav directly to pitch his whole like Black Adam story. Yeah, I give him credit. I mean, he tried. I mean, as a guy who wants to make a movie, as a movie star, like, you want to play this anti-hero, who do you want to fight? You want to fight Superman. Like, I get it. It makes total sense to me. You know, as a comic book fan, I want to see Black Adam fight Shazam or Captain Marvel. Right. But like, I get why Dwayne Johnson wants, and Black Adam and Superman have had their tete-a-tetes in comic books before, so it's not totally out of the realm of possibility. It's not the craziest of the ideas out there. But let's just be honest, it just didn't work. And you hear how difficult The Rock was to work with. He's having his brand of tequila.
Which I went to the premiere. Yes,
did you have some?
I had some. Yes,
is it good?
A couple of drinks. It was very good.
Do you like it? I'm really into the 1800 tequila right now. That's the tequila. But tequila got really popular all of a sudden. I find myself drinking it. Like, I was like, wow, like, okay. I'm feeling I see all these tequila ads and stuff everywhere. I feel like they're really pushing it. But
it was
1800 tequila coconut's delicious. So I'll try this. Was it Terramana?
Terramana, yeah.
Terramana.
It was good, and it was cool. They were themed drinks that they had with the Terramana in it, and then you could also get shots. Like, if I wanted to go up there and get shots, they were doing it for people. It was a little crazy.
Down with the tequila bar,
but yeah, it was kind of in the center of where the popcorn would normally like concessions is. Yeah. They just had it in that area in the center right there.
And
they had
bartenders there. People like vibing. Were people like digging it? Like,
yeah.
Okay, I mean, so The Rock was right on that.
It was free. You're getting free liquor.
Wait, they're free tequila?
Who turns down free liquor? Seriously, like,
I think I'm gonna have to side with The Rock on this one.
So I mean, that part of it was good, but again, not everyone could go to the premiere, so it didn't. He should have done that in all the theaters, and had them all give it out, and then maybe
he
the
only
movie,
does it for the Champion of Long Island, apparently.
word of mouth would have gotten around, and people would have known. Oh, we can go see Black Adam and drink for free. I'm going.
50
that movie
cents for
made,
dollar pizza.
That might have made 600
free
million.
Tequila for every Rock movie he goes to see.
It might have doubled the box office.
Yeah,
he did that.
So there you go. I'm gonna have to side with the Rock on the whole tequila thing. But you find like he just was, apparently it wasn't as smooth of a production / relationship as many wanted it to be. The movie bombed. Apparently, the Rock was difficult to work with, and Warner Brothers had their issues. So
it did. The article
kind of makes sense that Dwayne Johnson probably won't be back anytime soon.
Right. I mean, they worded it. I remember when he talked about Black Adam wasn't being picked up in the first phase of whatever their new plan is. That's how he put it. But in my head, I'm like, dude, you're 50, what? You're 50 something now, or 50? Maybe he might be 50, 51.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, what are you going to be Black Adam when you're 60, 62? Like, I don't know. But the article does.
If Shazam 3 happens, like, it'd be cool if it's Black Adam versus Captain Marvel. That'd be great.
Yes.
But let's get through Shazam 2 before we get to Shazam 3.
The article does specifically mention about future possibility characters, and it mentions Aquaman, Shazam, Blue Beetle, and Peacemaker as possibly still being around in this second phase. So there you go.
Maybe that's what keeps James Gunn up at night. Do I cancel Peacemaker? Do I not? Do I cancel? Do I not? Do I not? What
I don't know. But I do know, and I've said this when him and Safran were named, I do feel comfortable with whatever they do moving forward.
I'm sitting here. Just what are you guys up to? Just tell me. Apparently you have this 10-year plan. I would like to hear this 10-year plan.
Yeah. Let me hear it first.
I only need to hear year one. Like, give me whatever you got. Whatever you want to share with me, just share with me. That's fine. But I'm sitting here waiting. I expect sometime around January 20th.
Yeah, that's probably a good gauge. I think that's probably a good time frame to put that in.
And for all I know, it'll drop tomorrow.
Right? We'll get it Monday.
Yeah.
We'll get it Monday morning. You're right. Who knows? Gunn is a little different anyway, so I could see him doing something like that. But one thing he has mentioned, and he has kind of kept up in everything he said, is that what would be included in this part of the universe and what would be considered Black Label or Elseworlds projects. As we know, Joker is an Elseworlds project. I guess the Batman still would be considered an Elseworlds project, since it's not part of the larger universe he's creating, the interconnected universe. But there are other titles that I wonder if they would tell stories on in an Elseworlds type of form. So everyone's Superman. Would they do like a Red Sun? Do that story.
That'd be cool. Oh yeah, sure. If you're gonna do that, just make sure it's known that this is one thing, this is another, and
right.
They're just both for you to enjoy. Yep. They're not connected. But
he does say they're actively happening and planning that.
And here's the thing: like, a lot of this honestly sounds like they're just trying to copy Marvel again. Shared universe, all that jazz, and the Black Label stuff is what can make them different. What they can use to say, yeah, we do have that kind of Marvel style comic book shared universe, but we also got this other stuff, which is a little bit more serious, and you're probably not going to want to bring your kids to it. Just say
yeah, and I hope it stays that way. I do like that option. I do like having these separate stories. Like, there are a lot of rich stories in comics that are Elseworld Black Label. There's a whole label.
But then again, you could also get something like Birds of Prey, which fits in your connected universe and is still something you probably shouldn't bring your kid to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like, and I've said this before, like, DC on film just seems like a comic book store. I can go in, I can buy main continuity Batman, I can go in, I can buy out of continuity Batman in a miniseries. And that's what it feels like to me.
That's another movie that
What?
I know COVID impacted it as well, but that's another movie that I thought was fantastic. And
yeah, I really dug Birds of Prey.
I mean, it was adult.
They probably should have called it Harley Quinn.
Yes. Well, that's what they did when they tried to rebrand it.
But I think COVID did in Margot Robbie.
Yes, COVID was a huge reason that one didn't get people. Yes, for sure.
And Suicide Squad too. Like that was at a different point, but
it was still impacted definitely by COVID. That's without saying, it definitely was. So, well, like I said, one thing that's technically considered Elseworlds is the Batman, and we got the Batman obviously last year. And at this point, for me, I don't know if it was the best movie of the year, but it was my favorite movie of the year. So,
which is great considering Eric didn't want the Batman to begin with.
That's not true at all. Complete fabrication and lie by Pete. I don't like when people lie about me. So
Does the world need Batman by Eric Holzman and Mayor Dinkins?
The Batman. Not need. What now? You're making me Lois Lane.
Yeah, that's kind of the point there.
And that's not what the article was.
You forget the kind of genre show we do.
Oh God, that's not even what I. Forget it. It's not worth
going over.
You made a
Lois Lane reference on our show, you idiot. Like, yeah.
So
what?
Anyway.
Zaddy.
Yes, you are. You are a Zaddy, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm so Zaddy. So Zaddy.
But no, one of the performances and one of the characters that we all loved from that movie, from the Batman, was Penguin, obviously. And the Penguin series is coming, as we know. And Colin Farrell spoke about it. He was at a gala for his film The Banshees of Inisherin, which I saw. It's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it,
how good are the Irish accents in that movie?
Well, they're great, and the acting is just top notch. It's top level acting. So if you like to watch a movie where the actors are pretty much given free reign to do what they do, it's perfect. It's a perfect movie for that. But he talked about it. And he says he wanted to do the show because he didn't feel like he got enough time to explore the character in the Batman. And the makeup artists, Mike Marino and Mike Fontaine, what they put together was just the tip of the iceberg. And then he says, pardon the pun, ha ha ha.
Oh God, I love this stuff. This is amazing. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. So he said they only got... He said only 6 or 7 scenes in the film, which I didn't. I thought it was more than that. He's not in the movie a lot, dude. But you're right. Scenes, but he's not in the movie a lot. Yeah, it's true. So, yeah. So here we have this.
I mean, this show is going to probably end up being like one of the top 5 greatest shows in the history of television. I'm going out on a limb right there. I'm saying it. I'm so excited for this. Like, I can't wait. And the fact that like Farrell is just like oozing to just get back in that trench coat and just start doing gangster shit is just so exciting to me. Like, I think he loves this role. This might be like one of his favorite roles, because whenever this guy talks about this role and this Penguin and all this, so he just like lights up. Like, he loves doing this. Like, he will be Penguin for like 40 years if you ask him to. He will do this role for like he can just see he just loves playing this type of like just disgusting greaseball character.
Yeah, he definitely has an affinity for the character and the role, and the fact that he was in the movie, and he even says like, I didn't have enough to do.
Yeah, like he wants to, and you don't find that from someone who has to go through prosthetics and fats. Like, dude, what's her name who played Mystique in like the second version of the X-Men movies did what she could to not dress up as Mystique.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, like she went out of her way to have it in her contract. Like she did, like, I do like one scene as Mystique. Like, like no one wants to sit in that makeup chair forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that you bring her up. She recently did Actors on Actors with Viola Davis, and I watched it, and she actually talked about that. She talked about playing Mystique, and how she felt that whole thing of being in the body paint, and how stressful it is to have to do that and be made up for all that time, especially in that kind of a character. So she said, yeah. So it's funny that you brought that up because I recently heard her talk about it.
You listen to her talk about it, you're like, oh my God, this sounds horrible.
Yeah.
It sounds like you get every goddamn cent from that.
Yeah, that's true. If you have to be in full body paint like she had, I would get as much money.
Like it's like what, a 10-hour process or something?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I mean, I don't know the shooting schedule, but what if you do that and you shoot like 3 scenes that day?
That's what I'm saying. Though. It's like when are you shooting? You've got to get ready. First of all, you've got to get ready in 10 hours. You've got 10 hours to get ready. And then you're going to shoot for how long? Like, give me a break. Wow.
I know.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Yes. So of course we're looking forward to the Penguin, and we will keep you guys informed. The more information we get about it as we lead into the premiere, we will keep you guys informed.
I don't think you're excited enough for this show.
Oh, I'm excited for it.
I don't think you're excited. I can't see it in your face. Like, you're not even smiling. You're a Grinch. What? You're such a Grinch.
Whatever.
You're a mean one.
I'm not gonna fake. I'm not gonna fake smile about it, but I am definitely looking forward to it. That character is one of the best things in the movie, so I definitely want to see more of it.
It's great.
One character who we got to see in the CW already is Harvey Dent's Two-Face. Misha Collins is playing. He plays him, and apparently,
well, he's just playing Harvey Dent as far as I knew.
Yes, that's true. But apparently, we're going to get a Two-Face in Gotham Knights.
Ooh, the show everyone loves to talk about and shit on. I can't wait for all you to be obsessed and enjoy this thing, because this thing's really going to turn out to be a showstopper. I've got good feelings about this show. And yeah, so if you watch that video we shared, I think it was from EW, right? Entertainment Weekly.
Yep.
Looks like little Harvey Dent's going through a little bit of a prosthetic procedure himself. So look out, kids. I think we're going to get some cool little Two-Face photos.
Right, and let's hope that it's high quality.
I hope it's not as bad as the Joker in Gotham. Oh God, please! Or when Gotham released that first picture of Bane. Oh my God, with his sleep apnea mask. Oh.
Poor Shane West.
Oh, great actor. Oh God, and then they did his hair. Oh man, that was a horrible one. Yeah, that's like, those are some of the worst. And budget, Mr. Freeze without the helmet, that was a bad one too.
It's gotta be budget. That's the only reason I could think they skimp and cut corners is budget. I can't imagine that they.
I don't know if they're skimping and cutting corners. I just think it's like, I think they're trying. I do. They're trying, especially they're trying to be different. I just don't know. Trying too hard, maybe. I don't know. Not everyone can nail, Poison Ivy like Batwoman can. Gotham tried twice, didn't work out.
I thought the second one was good.
It was better. As she got older, she got better. When they tried to introduce Ivy as like a kid. That worked for a little bit actually when she was Selina's friend, right? And
then I mean they did the whole storyline.
They aged her up somehow.
Yeah, where she ages real quick, and maybe
I'll have to go check my hashtag PV Gotham binge. I'm sure I talk about
it. maybe it's the chlorophyll.
Yeah, the chlorophyll. It was the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll and chloroform. Mix them together, and you get Poison Ivy.
And you get growth, speedy. Growth acceleration.
Welcome to the Weird Science podcast.
Yeah,
presented by Holzman Electronics.
So, oh boy. So, so another character who we got to know and love in the CW was John Cryer's Lex Luthor, and apparently he won't be back.
Oh, that's a bummer because, as everyone knows, I think he's the best live action Lex Luthor we've ever had, big or small screen. And it's a bummer because I thought it was really cool, but we'll see. Apparently, we're going to get a Lex and Superman and Lois, and it's pretty obvious now that this version of Superman and Lois is on a different world. I don't think there's any doubt, right? Like now we've kind of guessed, like, it could still be the CW. This is a different CW verse that Superman and Lois is playing in. So we'll see, but we'll see what Lex does.
I mean, we've seen kind of hints of it during the show as well already. traveling to different timelines and things like that. So they whatever world this is in, it's still part of that general overall arcing multiverse, it seems. But this specific one, you're right, it's a different Earth. It's a different place. So if you guys were hoping to see Cryer back, you will not. But one guy we will see back, and I want to take a pat on the back for this one because I said it. Stephen Amell will be returning as Oliver Queen in Flash season 9.
They did it.
So yes, so they're bringing him back as well as David Ramsey.
Flash season 9 is going to be epic, bro.
Yes, David Ramsey will be back as John Diggle. Kenyon Lonsdale will be back as Wally West, and Senthil Ramamurthy will be back as Bloodwork. So,
he was from a later season. You probably didn't watch it because you're
not one of the
cool kids.
They will be back.
But, dude, Flash season 9 pulling out all the stops are going out with a bang. The CW is going to go out with a huge bang. The end of the verses is going to end with the Flash, right? Like, it'll end with on the big screen with the Flash and on TV with the Flash. So it's only fitting that Barry Allen gets to run his way in and out of trouble one more time for our viewing pleasure. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see where they go with this season. They keep teasing my yellow boots. I want to see the yellow boots. I'm just really excited. I want to know what's going to happen. I'm excited to see Kid Flash back. We haven't seen him in a while. He only did 45 episodes, so it's going to be fun.
Well,
are you going to watch?
I know for me, like I said, since Arrow was my favorite CW show, this is going to be cool. And they're teasing it as saying it's an epic yet emotional episode we hope Arrowverse fans will all enjoy.
That means Holzman.
So I definitely will watch. I said I was going to watch season 9 anyway, so I definitely.
We got him, kids. We got Eric back in the CW. Pretty soon we're watching Black Lightning and Supergirl, and we're going to have so much fun.
I watched Black Lightning.
You watched all 4 seasons?
No,
all 3 seasons.
I watched the first 2. The first season I really loved. The second season kind of fell off for me a little bit, which is why I didn't go back.
About the writing.
But no, I want to see, them back, and I want to see how they send off. Like you said, this is probably going to be the end of the Arrowverse. So,
which was that run? That's a hell of a run.
Yeah, 12 years, 13 years total. Yeah, it's a long run. Good time.
We had some really cool moments in that decade. That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before.
It's been a fun ride.
For the longest time, what they were doing on the CW was better than anything that they were doing on the big screen. So I would always go and wait for that. And for the longest time, all these characters were only on the CW. Like, there was no Green Arrow. There still hasn't been a Green Arrow in motion picture. There's the Flash we're only getting now, even though it's been in development for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So like Supergirl, even though I didn't like the show, but Black Lightning, we've never had.
We got another incarnation of televised Superman, which is nice.
Yeah, so I mean,
which technically is like 3 different versions, right? Because you've gotten the original version of Tyler Hoechlin, there's a reboot in Superman and Lois, and then you get Brandon Routh, which is the Superman Returns Superman.
Yeah, and I mean, that's probably, to me, the biggest, the most ambitious part of the CW, and the fact that they pulled it off for the most part was the Crisis crossover.
Which is great. I mean, even Conroy's small appearance was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, the way that the love letter to the fans of these characters that thing was, even though quality-wise it wasn't the best.
Burt Ward, Alexander Knox, Robert Woolman in there. Like, come on.
That was fantastic. So if I had to look back on the CW and think of what the legacy of it is, it's that kind of a thing that they did. The
old Birds of Prey TV show made an appearance in that.
Yep.
Everything DC.
Yep.
Made an appearance in that. It was great.
Ezra Miller's Flash, like all of
Michael Keaton appeared via a photo.
Yep. I mean, all of these things were thrown into there, and as a fan of these characters, whether you like the CW or not, you got to give them props for doing that. So I will watch season 9 of The Flash. Hopefully it's a good season. Hopefully I'm not too lost by watching it, but I will watch it.
Why don't you start catching up? Stop being a scrub.
And because that's too many.
What else? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Eric? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
My job is very, very time consuming.
You're working 7 days a week?
There are times I'm working the weekend, sure.
All right. Well, just saying, you got an hour to watch an episode here and there. Just pop it in. Enjoy yourself.
Yes,
and then
I will.
you could do something like the Holzman binge and as your hashtag, and then you could tell everybody, and you could follow, like I did for Gotham. Do that for season. Oh, do that. So pick up where you left off of Flash. What was that, season 3?
4.
Okay, so pick up at season 4 and just hashtag your thoughts up until
I'd have to go and watch again, see where I left off. I don't know. It might even been after that. I have no idea.
Everything.
All I know is once they really started leaning into the teen angst stuff of the show, I kind of pulled back and left.
Why do you hate young people? Is it because you're an
love
old
young
man?
people. I love young people. I just can't relate.
Because you're like, once they start talking about these young people, I stop caring about this dang here. The age demographic of the CW was 55 to 88. That is what I'm telling you. Where's my spittoon? I'm the champion of Long Island.
As I was saying, I just can't relate to those stories anymore. That's all. That's it.
You still live like a young person.
It is crazy. It is crazy though. Like you said, it is crazy that their demographic is like 45 to whatever. Like what?
Yeah, it's ARP.
But yeah, it is crazy that's the CW's demographic. I still can't believe that. But yeah, so. But again, I like I said, I will always appreciate what the CW did for the DC at the Arrowverse and the DC characters, and how they took care of it and put all these characters on the small screen that a lot of people didn't know and now have an affinity for and love. That's kind of the legacy of what it was. So the Flash is going to close it out this season. I'll be there. I will be there.
That's right. We got Eric back. Next up, Batwoman season 3.
Yeah, I'm not watching Batwoman. Anyway,
Eric and Leslie, Batwoman season 3.
We have more Flash stuff. Hold on.
Ooh, Flash news.
But this is big screen Flash news.
Ooh.
Now there's not a bigger day to get a commercial than the Super Bowl, and we will be getting our first Flash trailer, official trailer, at the Super Bowl this year for Andy Muschietti's Flash.
So let me get this straight. A bunch of 30-somethings are going to be watching this, and they're going to see Keaton's return, and they're going to go nuts.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the moment. This is the moment where the world shits itself because Michael Keaton is returning to Batman. Like, I'm just saying, this is a big deal. A lot of people don't know this yet. And this is, everyone's eyes are going to be on the Super Bowl. I just hope that the spot comes at the right time. Because it's like, if you're sober enough, do this. Like, honestly, just go outside. Just drive a little bit on Super Bowl during the halftime show.
Yes.
It's dead. It's I Am Legend out there. Like, no one's outside. Everyone's watching the TV. All eyes will be on Michael Keaton's yellow oval and cowl. This is going to be huge.
Everyone knows here, football's my favorite sport, and I'm a huge football fan. So adding this to that for me obviously most people.
Eric's gonna be watching Tom Brady win another Super Bowl.
Oh, don't even
Michael Keaton's Batman.
I want to hear about Tom Brady. Anyway, yeah, and I saw your little thing, by the way, calling that movie with the Tom Brady movie Eric stuff. I took offense to that.
I've been doing that since they announced that movie in production. So
I did not appreciate it.
It's been happening for at least.
I don't appreciate it. I don't care. I don't appreciate it.
I think Sally Field is an attractive woman.
Well, that's good for you.
She looks beautiful in a Tom Brady jersey.
That's fantastic for you. I'm happy that you feel that way, but I personally don't care. And I don't care about that movie.
He's the quarterback of the Jets next year.
I hate Tom Brady. I say it loud. I say it proud.
What are you going to do when he's the quarterback of the Jets next year?
He won't be. There's no way he's coming here.
The Jets need a veteran quarterback.
It won't be Tom Brady.
They have the defense already. Tom Brady.
Mm-mm.
It's either Tom Brady or Jimmy G, and you're getting Tom Brady.
Nope.
Woody Johnson's going to make a statement.
No. Can't.
He's been inspired by Steve Cohen and Carlos Correa. Tom Brady.
Nope.
He's going to be a New York Jet. What number does he wear?
All right. Who cares? Let's move on to
12?
the next topic, Well, he can't wear 12. Let's move on to the next topic. I'm talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I feel like we've been talking about this movie coming out for decades, even though it hasn't been that long. But I don't know why.
There was a pandemic in there.
I feel like we've been talking about the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse for a long time, and it's coming. And Lord and Miller did an exclusive interview with Entertainment Weekly about what's coming. They gave a little bit of insight to where Miles Morales is at this point. He's trying to figure out how he can go out and see the world and spread his wings and leave the nest, but he feels rooted at home with his family. And it's kind of a story about the push and pull of life as a teenager. You know, how do you be your own person, but not lose where you came from? It's all relatable, I think.
So you hate this already because you hate movies about young kids?
No, I love the first one. I love the first one. I'm gonna love this one too. I'm sure. But we have there's a bunch of characters returning. There's some new characters being introduced. Spider-Gwen, voiced by Haley Steinfeld. Peter P. Parker returns as Jake Johnson voices him.
Nick Cage is not returning, by the way. He will not be in this. That came out recently as well.
Spider-Woman is a new character that they're throwing in, voiced by Issa Rae. So Oscar Isaac is playing Spider-Man 2099, which we saw a little bit of him. I think it was the end credit scene of the first one.
Yep.
He's got a larger version, a larger role in this. And the villain is Spot.
The Spot.
Yes. So voiced by Jason Schwartzman. So they say his trippy powers make him a perfect character for animation with abilities that allow him to bend reality, almost like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. So
that comment I found really interesting that they compared him to Wile E. Coyote. I like the Spot in the 90s animated show. That was cool. So I'm interested to see, like, you know, he pops in and out, like like kind of like you would think he's a teleporter through spots. I'm interested to see what they do, and you know, it seems like the Spot and Spider-Man 2099 kind of share villain roles, even though Spider-Man 2099 isn't really a villain.
Right.
So it seems like it can be very, let's say, complex of a film. I just hope it's not too, you know, complex, right?
I mean, they say that
they're throwing a lot at you here, it seems like.
Yeah, and they say that. They say even though it has a lot of moving parts and things going on, they want it's based most into Miles' story. So they're really focusing on story, which is good. You know, as we know, even with live action films, sometimes that can get lost in the mix of trying to make this big bombastic film. But they do estimate that 240 unique characters were designed and modeled for Across the Spider-Verse. So I wish someone could have a running count. I'm sure they will. The internet is undefeated, so I'm sure there will be a running count of all the characters that appear.
Screenshot.
Yep, all the characters that appear in this movie. But I mean, the first one was so well done and such a surprise for me that I'm really looking forward to this. And
yeah, me too.
I can't wait for it to just come out because it's coming out June 2nd, and that's like the week before The Flash. It's crazy, but yeah, it'll be out. So. Another thing that's coming in 2023, a show that was a surprise for me as well, because I did not read the comic. Shocker there. But Invincible Season 2, we have confirmed will be coming in 2023. We just don't know exactly when in 2023.
Yeah, I love this show.
Right?
I've never read Invincible, so I just kind of watched it on a whim because everyone was talking about it. Like Nico was talking about it a lot.
Right.
So I was like, what is this guy? This guy's ranting, raving about this thing. Let me check this thing out. And it's like, I was like, wow, I did not expect it to be so good.
Seriously. I mean, when you look at the voice cast, you kind of thought it should be good. I mean, you had J.K. Simmons and Sandra Oh and Seth Rogen, Mark Hamill, Mahershala Ali. Like, the voice cast is ridiculous. So you would think, yeah, this should be a good show. But how good it is, and I mean... It's fantastic, and I'm glad we're finally we know we're getting it this year. I'm glad we know that it's coming in this year. So,
because I think they've been doing 2 and 3 back to back. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was. I believe they were shooting them back to back, and they were just trying to wanted to obviously have enough material to do one season before that they did it. So that's a little bit of that news. We also have some cool news going on. As we know, if you don't live under a rock, we know that there's a new Congress in session. And if you were following the speaker proceedings, we're not going to get into it, but it's been kind of crazy.
What is this, stick shoe politics?
No, I'm kind of leading up to the story because one of the congressmen is going to be sworn in on a classic Superman comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So Congressman Robert Garcia chose the very first Clark Kent comic book to be with him when he is sworn into office. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, right.
I think I read a story maybe a couple of years ago about somebody who got sworn in on a Captain America shield. So people are getting very creative recently.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty cool thing. I think a lot of times, not just with politicians, but I think with anyone who has any kind of celebrity, even though politicians aren't celebrities, they're more well known than the average person. So anytime you hear when someone does something like this, it kind of just reminds you that these guys are real people too. Like they have likes and things like that. So anytime I read stuff like this, it's always cool, especially stuff that I'm into.
Like, yeah, one of us made it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to read that stuff. So,
what would you get sworn on? What would you swear it on?
Oh, I don't know.
The Jets yearbook from 1997.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
No, really nothing. Like, there's nothing like that I could think of to get sworn in on. The Bible would be fine, I guess. Knowing maybe put some kind of cookbook or something like that.
Emeril Lagasse's 15 greatest recipes.
Some kind of recipe thing, or something like that. I don't know.
This is Gordon Ramsay's first cookbook.
When I was more religious, it definitely would have been the Bible, but those days have passed. So,
weren't you like a reverend at one point?
I wasn't a reverend, no.
Oh, I thought you were.
But I was an altar boy growing up, and a little bit more behind the curtain here. My father wanted me to become a priest.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted me to become a priest.
Well, and you didn't want to become a priest? You were like, no, Dad, I like girls.
Well, when I was younger, I was like, yeah, that could be cool. And then you hit a certain age, you're like, yeah, that's not so cool anymore. So,
look, I don't understand. Yeah. Reverend Lovejoy has a wife.
Well, that was always my question. I used to be like, how come it's only Catholic priests that can't get, like, I would just go in, but it is what it is. So,
yeah, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oakses, baby.
I think we've come to the end of the road for this one.
Have we? Have you been keeping up with the Hasbulla news?
I have not. Do you have Hasbulla news to share with us?
No, he's been lying low pretty recently, just living the life, obviously. Okay. But I was just wondering if you've heard anything.
All I'll say is this: because of you, I notice more Hasbulla things now.
Isn't he incredible? He's everywhere.
Yeah. Like there are podcasts that I listen to, or things that I like, reels that I'll follow on Facebook. I'll have certain groups of things that I follow on reels, and he'll just pop up in one of them.
Yeah, he pops up everywhere.
So I'm much more aware of him now than I've ever been because of you. And yeah, he is. I mean, he's fantastic. The fact that
my Instagram account has blown up since I started posting Hasbulla stuff.
Yeah, man. I think you need to send him some kind of royalty for your follower royalties. I don't know how that would work.
How do I do that?
I don't know. Hey, maybe we can. He doesn't speak English though.
I think he's learning.
We could get Hasbulla on the show. It'd be fun.
I would love to have Hasbulla on the show. I would. I don't know if I can speak Dagestani.
Do we have a Dagestani interpreter? Anyone out there of our fans? Are you? Can you speak?
I don't know. It's. I don't know if it's Dagestani is even a language or a word. I just know he's from Dagestan. It's a Republic of Russia. So do you think he speaks
Probably
Russian?
Russian, yeah, or some form
of sort of dialect of Russian.
Yeah, some Cyrillic form of language.
Maybe. Sure. Didn't you take like Russian in high school?
No, German. I took German.
Oh, okay. I thought you took Russian.
Oh yeah. Speaking of German, shout out to Doug.
What's he cooking?
We're going to be He's started Duolingo to learn German, and so I've always been on it. So he wants me to connect so we can kind of challenge each other.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
You guys should do that on the Iceberg Lounge. You should have a germ off.
A germ off?
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds like we have some kind of disease.
That's not what I meant, but
I know, but that's what it sounds like.
The Iceberg Lounge presents the annual germ off tournament.
All right, so Pete, give them your info, where they can find you, what you're up to, all that.
You can follow me on social media as Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon, Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero at Pete Illustrated. You can follow excuse me, you can follow podcast number one's the podcast you're listening to right now, Straight Outta Gotham at straight_O_G on Twitter and Instagram. Check out our Facebook group and our Facebook fan page. Check out at Team Yellow Oval. Check out my other podcast, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast. I do that with Nicholas and Nico Caruso. That's a fun time. That's Italian at Italians for Spidey on Twitter. I'm all over BatmanOnFilm.com with comic book reviews. I'm all over Batman Film YouTube with toy reviews and interviews. So check that stuff out. I'm still writing my Eric Holzman autobiography chronicles. I'm now possibly working on a new Hasbulla documentary, and I can now officially say that I am the largest. I run the largest Hasbulla fan page on Instagram in the state of New Jersey, at almost near 5,000 followers. So there you go.
There you go,
Hasbulla.
All right, you guys know where you can find me on Twitter at Finally33, spell Finale33. As Pete mentioned, check us out on Facebook, the group, the page. The group needs to be more active, so we have to work on that, Pete.
It's very active, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I posted my hot take about Scarface today.
Oh God, it was a horrible hot take.
Dude, that movie is terrible.
It's a good movie. It's not great. It's not like the greatest like crime movie ever, but it's a solid movie.
It's bad. I'm sorry.
Oh
I didn't want to go off on this tangent, but now I'm going to. They're all Italians except for like a couple people playing Cubans.
All right. I mean,
yeah, Pacino,
they're
Robert
actors.
Loggia.
They're playing people they're not. That's what they do.
No, but I mean, come on. You could have gotten.
I don't know. It's Pacino. Like, give me a break.
Anyway, yeah, it's probably one of my least favorite roles of his. Anyway, but it's iconic. People love the movie. It's become a huge pop culture phenomenon, specifically if you like hip hop music. Rappers seem to love Scarface. So
I feel like back in the day, not anymore.
Yeah,
like
it's probably more my era.
Do. Like, yeah, I feel like these mumble rappers don't put as much emphasis on Scarface as our guys used to.
Probably, you're probably right about that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it has become that it became more popular because of that, I believe. So anyway,
but definitely like Jay-Z, DMX, Nas, like those guys, they love Scarface.
Yeah. Like songs mention him. The rapper Scarface took his name from the movie.
Right. Yeah. Like, I don't know if Migos is like loving Scarface as much as
we do. Probably not. That's probably not a thing. So, but anyway, not to go back on where you guys can find me. I've talked about the New York Knicks. If you're fans of the New York Knicks, I have a show called All Nicked Up. You hit me up on Twitter at all_Nick_up. That's where you can interact with me about that specific podcast, or it's really more of a live stream now. We do a show every week, Wednesday nights, either after the game ends or at 9:00 Eastern time, whichever.
Mr. Brunson had himself a game the other day.
Yeah, last night he had a good game. Yeah. So the Knicks have been streaky. They win 8, they lose 5. They won, I think, 4 in a row now or 3 in a row now. So, I mean, we'll see.
In Brooklyn.
But seriously, the Nets have been fantastic.
Crazy.
The Nets,
oh my 17 God. Out of 19, like, whoa,
nuts, man.
And their 2 losses are like literally like the beginning, and they're so far apart.
This is the team everyone feared. Like this, when they came together, this was the team everyone.
Yeah, who knew it was actually the coach? Like, who knew Kevin Durant was right? We all got on Kevin Durant, but he was right.
Yeah, Jacques Vaughn has been playing, so hey, give them props. Good for them. So yeah, check us out Wednesday nights again. 9:00 Eastern time, or directly after the game on Facebook Live, on Twitter as well, and on YouTube. I'll send out the information for that at that point. As I mentioned to start the show, Pete and I are going to be putting together another Iceberg Lounge, maybe around the time of James Gunn's announcement. Maybe we can do something like that. Get everyone together for that. I think that'd be fun. To be the first.
We could do State of the Union.
Yeah.
We can do a State of the Union.
So we could do that.
Yeah.
And that'd be
I'd
fun
like
to
that.
do. So look out for that, guys. We'll have details.
And we can make it toga themed.
Whoa. We'll see.
Toga.
So
Steve, I bet you Steve Helm can he would love a good toga party. Steve looks like Steve Helm look like this. I talk like this. I wear my toga like this. I wear a little off-white eggshell toga. This is nice right there. This is my wife Millie. She wears a little wreath on her head. We look nice. Yeah, go Cowboys.
Why did you sound like Otis from Martin with that one?
I think it's the stuff he knows.
But yeah, so guys, look out for that. We'll have more information forthcoming. If you are other creators in the space listening to the show and you want to be a part of it, definitely let Pete and I know, and we will have you in there because that's what
we're gonna have to get Steve on.
So, yeah, we'll have to get
on.
We'll have to get Steve. He did do a couple of the Andor shows.
I'll do the Star Wars shows, Eric. I could do it. I'm more than qualified. I got a good mic here. Here we go. You hear me? My mic good. Hello, Steve Helm, Texas Batman 66. Hello.
Oh, he hates you anyway.
Steve sent me a video because I said like Star Wars sucks the other day, and it was his kid, and his kid was like, clapping back at me, and it was like, sounds like Yankee. It seems like he watched too much TV.
Oh man. So yeah, and again, shout out to, of course, everybody who still follows, listens, supports us. It's fun. We love doing this, and it's always fun to have people asking, like, when are you guys doing another show, or where have you been, or that people
I need a break, damn it.
Yeah,
my vocal cords need to recharge.
Yeah, I mean, we just took a 2-week hiatus just for the holidays, but we're back now, and we will be back on the weekly show, and so
the studios just did the same thing. Can you guys relax? What's the plan? Straight out of Gotham,
right? Yeah, like networks, they don't do any new programming during the holiday season. Everything kind of shuts down. So we were just following the script. That's all.
I want to enjoy Christmas like the rest of you.
But we are back, and we'll have a nice 2023 slate planned. We're gonna definitely plan more stuff. So we'll have a slate planned.
If anyone has problems with the slate, please yell at Eric. Please.
Yeah, I'm always the one. Whether it's for the Batman book club, which I'm really not a part of anymore, or for this show, any complaints come to me.
At Final E33 on Twitter.
Yes, at Final E33 on Twitter. So I believe that is all.
Or you could reach him at eric/champion.uxus@net. That's his other email.
Yeah, that's my email.
So you can reach him there.
That's it. That's where you guys can find me. So I think we're going to close down now. You good? No more news? No more Hasbulla news? Nothing? We're good?
No. If you want Hasbulla news, just go to my Instagram page. I just crossed over 5,000 followers.
That's fantastic.
It's crazy how people follow.
Congratulations. I know.
It's absolutely insane.
It is. But good for you in that regard. All right, guys. So for Pete, I'm Eric. You're listening to Straight Outta Gotham, and we will see you next time.
Booyah!